This programme is brought to you by ultimatepool.tv.
Welcome to the highlight show for the Ultimate Pool Pairs Cup. We're on to week 5 and we have 2 Ultimate Pool Pro partnerships in this group. Chris Melling and Jordan Shepard are one of the most exciting and dynamic partnerships in the whole competition. Craig Waddingham and Arfandad also highly talented and will have their say. Elliot Coomb and Tom Price, Will LeBrook and James Parker complete the group. Everybody will play everybody and the top of the table at the end of the night will go through to the second stage of the competition. Let's get straight into our first match.
And they're up against 2 players that know what it's like, 2 Ultimate Pool professionals that have been there and done it on this stage many, many times before. It is Arfandad to get us underway in this opening frame. And straight away, we're going to see a golden break. How about that, Neil? First frame on the board with the first shot. Just incredible. Unbelievable scenes right the way to start the match there.
Yeah, great start to the match there for Arf, and to be fair, he hit the break really good as well. There's a lot of balls moving, and yeah, he's absolutely crunched these, to be honest.
Yeah, he absolutely did crunch them flush. I was about to run through the format of the competition, but as you can see, if the 8 ball goes in off the break, it is a golden break, a tournament rule there.
What a start, a golden break in the very first frame. 1 shot, 1 frame on the board for Arfandad and Craig Waddingham. And Arfandad would double the lead in the next with a lovely reverse clearance as we join his partner Craig Waddingham at the table in frame 3.
Chance here for Craig Waddingham to make it quickly 3-0. These are the sort of situations that you're surprised to see any professional not take, but especially Craig.
Yeah, he's not played a great shot there though, because you know, ideally I think he wanted to get rid of the 2 yellows at the top of the table, because obviously he's going down and then back up. So you know, he's losing the cue ball a little bit here.
Has he come far enough? I think he was trying to get on the one into the left centre, and I don't think he's quite come far enough. The table was reclothed on Saturday. It's playing very slick out there. The cushions weren't reclothed, it was just the bed of the table.
And there's another example that he doesn't mind where he leaves himself, and he completely backs himself to pot that yellow.
Other players might have been a little bit wary about that pot because it wasn't exactly what he played for, but he just pumps it in.
When he potted the yellow in the left-hand middle, then he wanted to judge a thicker contact on the yellow. He's caught it a little bit too thin, so I'm not sure if he can even cut it in there. He might have to play the double.
Looks like he's going for the cut though. This is very thin. I mean, he caught that very thin and he was still too thick. An opportunity here for Will. He may have an opportunity for a loss of turn, and this is where the rules, not knowing the rules, might hurt him. If he wanted to, he could play that loss of turn at the top and hide the white. He's going to be more aggressive. And the reason I was saying that, if he had brushed off that red at the top and potted the yellow, the cue ball stayed in the pocket, he would have had the 4 ball snooker on the 8 ball.
Yeah, that was definitely a shot, Simon. Yeah, he just clips off the red, he pots the yellow and leaves in 4 ball snooker, then the white's in the jaws. I think he was perfect as well. Well, that's probably just a little bit of lack of experience of the rules.
So, second opportunity for Craig Waddingham.
A 3-0 lead would become a 4-0 victory for the Ultimate Pool Pro partnership of Arfandad and Craig Waddingham as they won the next frame to round off the match. Let's move on to our second match where we see Jordan Shepard and Chris Melling about to get started.
Interesting that Jordan had the break. Chris does have one of the best breaks in the world. Jordan's break doesn't get talked about quite as much, but it never seems to let him down. It is a very solid break indeed, and as shows here in the opening frame, yellows is their choice. Interested to see how much they're going to talk to each other, how much they're just going to... There you go, they are talking straight away.
It's interesting they've gone yellows there from my point of view as well, because I arguably would have gone reds. Because, you know, to get to pop the yellow at the top of the table, then if they leave the yellow at the bar in the middle, it's not easy to get back down to the 3 at the bottom.
If you land nicely on one of the 3 at the bottom, then you can make him look very simple, but it's not easy, as you say, to land nicely. Needs to keep going, needs to keep going. He's a little bit short. Looks like he'll be playing the plant. Beautiful shot. And assuming the right-hand one of the 2 passes the other, well, the fact he's come round to have a look to see if the yellow goes into the opposite corner tells me it doesn't, but still it's not really a problem.
I mean, what you have got with obviously Jordan and Chris is that they're arguably 2 of the best shot makers in the world of pool. So they're happy to leave each other probably anywhere, really, and fancy them getting it.
Oh, wobbled, but drops. Could have done with another foot up the table. I think Jordan's just going to accept where he is and just leave Chris distance.
Yeah, you just got a lot to pot the yellow in the middle and then leave it near the ball line, and you know you fancy Chris to make the 8 ball.
Well, he's decided to go round the angles, and that's a lovely shot. Oh, you called it, Neil. 2 great shot makers. Lovely shot there from Jordan Shepard, and a lovely start for the Melling-Shepard partnership.
Well, a great start from the favourites. A lovely break clearance in the Scotch opening frame. The next 2 frames were shared. Reverse clearances by Tom Price and Jordan Shepard means the score is now 2-1 as we go into frame 4, and Tom Price has the break.
And as we see the cue ball fly in, and more than that as well, more in terms of similarities, is that Chris has been a snooker professional in the past, and Jordan is currently treating himself as a snooker professional, as in he is full-time playing snooker, trying to get onto the professional tour, and doing very, very well. I had actually saw him playing a few weeks ago, and he's a very talented snooker player, is Jordan.
Yeah, they've both got really quick pull brains, you know, so the shot clock's not going to come into play that much for them, and yeah, they just suit each other's game, I think. So in terms of it going to the finish now, I think they'll be looking to possibly leave the 1 on the right hand rail last, as long as the 8 ball went past the red. But Chris has not played a great shot there really, because he's left Jordan off angle. The thing is, because even if they're going for finishes, it's not really going to plan as there was at the start. They're such good potters that they can just pot their ways out of trouble.
I think the reason for the slight pause there from Jordan is I question whether the 8 ball does go to the bottom left-hand corner. And it was obviously a lot easier to play for it into that bottom left-hand corner, because you could just stay slightly high on the yellow like they have here. And it obviously didn't. Oh, is he going to go in off? Wow. And that was all because that 8 ball didn't go to the bottom left.
Oh, what a big error there by Chris Melling, going in off and costing his partnership the frame and tying the scores up at 2 frames all. The next 2 frames were shared. Break clearances by Jordan Shepard and Elliot Coomb took us to a deciding frame where we will head now.
Oh, cue ball straight into the centre pocket. So a chance for a big shock here in the opening match here for Chris Melling and Jordan Shepard. It is Coomb and Price with the opportunity. What do you like here, Neil?
Yeah, it's not easy. I think obviously if you can play the red off the yellow in the corner first shot, then they're all there. You know, now I just think it comes into a bit of time clock management. You've got to make yourself have enough time to finish, but not give Chris and Jordan enough time to clear the miss.
Yeah, try not to give that time back.
But obviously with Chris and Jordan, they're not going to need much time to clear. So
yeah, I actually think with the time here, if they just play without thinking about it and missed, say, the 8 ball, they would leave under a minute. So I think they probably might help them not to worry about it and just focus. This is their chance to win. Looks like they're desperate to leave. They've got the one to the bottom right to get rid of and leave the one to the top left as their last ball, unless they want to go for the double.
I think in terms of the pattern they've gone for here, they're going to pop the red in the corner, screw back for the red in the right-hand corner, and then leave a double on the 8 ball.
Looks like he has enough angle if he wanted to come back for it. He has. So this 8 ball for a huge victory. Oh, it rattles in, but Elliot, Coomb and Tom Price from 2-0 behind beat the big favourites for this group by 4 frames to 3.
What a match. Absolutely brilliant from both pairs there, but it is Coomb and Price that get the victory 4 frames to 3. And the favourites for this group lose their opening match, and they don't have long to wait before they're back in action as they're straight back on in the next match up against Ludbrook and Parker. Melling and Shepard did win the opening Scotch frame as we go into frame 2 with Will Ludbrook breaking off.
Hopeful, maybe.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll happen at some point.
Maybe when you're playing Neil in a few weeks' time. You're looking forward to getting out there? You're playing with Andy Blurton this year. You've had a change of partnership, as Chris and Jordan have.
Yeah, I've had a change of partnership, playing with Andy this year. I practice with Andy quite a lot. He lives very local to me. So it just made sense to play with Andy in the pairs. And yeah, I'm hoping we'll do well. We drew a difficult group, but, as a lot of the groups are, they're all difficult really, and you have to play well to get through.
So dry break allows Jordan to have the first chance in this second frame. Tricky red on the right-hand side. Helps if it goes to the bottom right-hand corner. It looks tight, but I think it does go. If it does go, it's not really a tricky red.
Yeah, so he just screwed that back there, and he's going to pop the red in the right-hand centre and just cannon into the yellow. He just wants to make sure he doesn't hit it too hard to block the red that's next to it.
Actually makes things trickier.
He missed the cannon, that's why. Now he's actually chasing the finish a little bit now.
Gets the cannon beautifully this time. Targeted to the yellow, hits it full in the face, and that is back in good position. Still not easy from here, but the chance is there. He's a little bit thinner on this one to the top of the table than he would have liked, but controls it well. He's doing well, isn't he?
Yeah, he played that well then as well, because he landed a little bit straight on that ball, so he had to screw back for the 8 ball in the corner and controlled it very well.
2-0 would become 3-0 with Chris Melling winning the next frame, and we join him in frame 4, lining something special up.
Come on then, Chris, what have you got?
So he's coming off the side rail now to to hit the yellow, to cut it in the right hand top corner pocket as we look.
Not to be. Chris is normally very solid at those shots, but this one doesn't land. Turns the table over. And reds are actually a little bit more open now. Just that one red at the bottom of the table potentially could squeeze in off the yellow. Ones at the top are fairly open though, and that helps. Tap of the knee there from Jordan and Chris.
Yeah, that was a good shot because that was one of the other awkward reds that were left on the table.
Didn't quite get that one as cleanly as he would have liked. This still goes. Squeezes in off the yellow. Maybe in a spot of bother here unless they can see that red past the 8 ball, and I don't think they can.
They could probably look the white and the red that are together now. They want to play the red inside the red that's near the bottom of the table into the rail and then off the yellow. They could have played that shot. Obviously, but he's potted a really good red there.
Yeah, that was good. Good pot in the centre there. Cue ball, if he pots this thin, could be going very close to that yellow at the bottom of the table. Maybe just inside it. Yeah, just inside it, but very close to kicking into the red. It did kick into the red. Hasn't really helped, though. Left them the same sort of shot they would have had. Beautiful. This 8 ball for a great frame victory. Hammers it home. Brilliant shot.
Will LeBrook and James Parker are on the board, but it was too little too late as Jordan Shepard was able to run the clock down in the next to complete victory and get his partnership their first victory. So on to match 4, where the 2 winners of our opening round of matches are in action, and we join it right at the start of the match.
What a break this is. They just absolutely exploded on Tom here.
Yeah, great break. The balls were flying around the table there. Deserves everything he gets on that break.
So we're on to the Scotch frame. Tom Price and Elliot Coomb with the first opportunity. They played fantastic in their first match. They had 4 chances in the match and they took all 4 of them to win 4-3 over Chris Melling and Jordan Shepard. And now they're taking on their second all Ultimate Pool Pro partnership of Arfandad and Craig Waddingham. And they've got a great chance here for 5 from 5 in terms of chances to frames.
Definitely, they're looking really good. I did think they're like, you know, dark horses for tonight. You know, inside the top 2 pairs, and they arguably look great, don't they? You know, they're playing great. They're playing with a lot of confidence.
Yeah, they are. They look fantastic out there. You can't do more than they're doing right now.
Brilliant start for Elliot Coomb and Tom Price. Lovely finish in the Scotch frame. Arfandad will pull the next back to tie the scores up once again with a break clearance as we move into frame 3.
Didn't quite catch these as clean. Still thought he was going to make a ball. Hit a few jaws there, but nothing drops. And this is a good layout for Craig Waddingham as he comes to the table for the first time in the match.
Yeah, he hit the break well. Didn't get the explosion as he did with his first break. And you know, Craig will be looking to take the reds out here now. I think he'll look to set the red. He's on there, and then take the red next to the 8 ball, and he'll look to leave the red next to the yellow as his last ball. So he's straight on in the black in the left-hand corner.
Something that you always look to do is just work backwards from that 8 ball.
Yeah, definitely, and you know, it's all about this shot really. You know, he needs to get good on the 3 reds at the top of the table.
Looks perfect. Beautiful shot. What's it like to play when in this partnership when you know, for Craig, he's just sat there and watched the opening 2 frames, not involved at all. I know that when you're playing tournaments, you can sit there and not get too involved. Obviously, alternate breaks, you will break every other frame. But for Craig, he essentially, it's frame 3 before he even gets out of his chair at all. Is that a slightly strange thing to get used to?
It is a little bit strange, yeah. And obviously, you're playing a team format, so, you know, you've got that pressure of you're playing for your partner as well. But, you know, Craig's very experienced, and, you know, I'll bet over the time of his whole career, he's had a lot of time where he's been frozen out in matches.
Yeah.
So,
and he's frozen a lot of people out in matches himself as well. As you suggested, leaves this red as last ball. Going to be slightly hampered queuing on the 8 ball. But no mistakes with it. So they were frozen out in the opening frame, but it's 2 straight frames off the break to put the Ultimate Pool Pro duo of Arfandad and Craig Waddingham 2-1 in front. And they will break off in frame 4 as well.
I have to beat Arfandad and Craig in the last match. He's going to, like you say, he's going to go to a 6-red shootout, so it's fully in their own hands if Arfandad win and Craig win this match. Yeah,
if Elliot and Tom win, then there's nothing that Chris Melling and Jordan Shepard could do, or Arfan and Craig Waddingham. They would need Will LeBrook and James Parker to beat Elliot and Tom. Huge break to be dry.
Yeah, really big break, yeah. And the way the yellows have come out, it's unbelievable, really. Obviously, there's no traffic anywhere again. It's a very high standard tonight, Simon.
It has been, hasn't it? Lots of finishes from the break. Just the 1 ball on the cushion. And I always talk about balls on cushions like that. If you get nicely on it, you can never expect players of this level to miss, and you're guaranteed to be nicely on it because of the yellow over the right centre pocket. They're questioning whether to get rid of the yellow in the triangle area first. I'm a big fan of getting rid of it first. Would you want to leave it?
I would personally leave it, yeah, and go the way that they've gone and leave it as my last ball, because they can guarantee themselves an angle on the one on the round there, because the way it just like slightly screwed back just, and then obviously if, you know, it's going to pop out as it has.
Ooh, big miss. Their first mistake on the night.
A surprising miss there, and that would cost them the frame and put them 3-1 behind. We move on to the next frame and join Tom at the table trying to pull one back.
He was trying to play on that yellow to the top right-hand corner, and you could see the cue ball spinning with right-hand side. Pressure on this one now.
Good shot. It's a good shot because he played an absolute terrible shot before, and you know, he didn't even need to be near the rail. He could have been like, you know, not in the middle of the table, but more of the right hand side. But he didn't have to get as cute on as he played.
So he could have played it natural. It's just come a little bit further up the table than he would have wanted. Could have done with that one stopping a foot or so shorter, or being a couple of inches to the right hand side. Oh, and he misses again. 15 seconds a shot. Not easy out there.
It's not easy, but you know, that's where the game punishes you sometimes, because he's played such a bad shot with 3 yellows to go. He's end up chasing the finish because he's end up taking that yellow last when he should have taken it free from home.
Yeah, which meant he had to play a positional shot off it, whereas he would have just been able to pop that and connect to the one to the bottom right, which he would have had to do nothing with the cue ball. Yeah, a lot of players, when they miss a ball like that, think about the miss they've just had, actually. But the error wasn't that miss. It was the positional shot previously.
Definitely. You know, and they've made like the 3-1 down, but you know, they've made 2 bad errors in this match.
Cue ball just pulls up in time for Arfandad. 2 balls away now from second victory for his partnership. Simple 8 ball to complete the job. And a very solid match from Arfandad and Craig Waddingham. They get the job done. They go for 2 from 2 and put themselves in control of week 5 of the Ultimate Pool Pairs Cup.
That victory means that Arfandad and Craig Waddingham sit pretty at the top of the table with 2 wins from their 2 matches. Jordan Shepard and Chris Melling are 1 win and 1 loss on 2 points, as is Coomb and Price. Lubrook and Parker are 2 out as they have 2 losses from their opening 2 matches. So into our final round of games, and the scenario is simple. If Arfandad and Craig Waddingham get anything out of their final match, they are through. If not, then we could be looking at a 2-way or 3-way 6 red shootout. On to match 5, where Elliot Coomb and Tom Price are taking on Will Lubrook and James Parker, and Coomb and Price need to get victory to have any chance of going through.
But if they were to lose, there is a potential for a 6 red shootout, or even a 3-way 6 red shootout. If Elliot and Tom can win this match, they would go tied at the top and would require Chris and Jordan to win to take it to a 3-way. In fact, of course, Elliot and Tom can only go through via a 3-way 6 red shootout. And they get the first opportunity in this match. They'll be disappointed actually in the last match, because they actually had, they took a beautiful finish out in the first frame, and then they had a chance to go to win another frame, which they just completely got wrong. A poor miss in the end from Elliot, and that was the big difference in the match for them. That would have been 2-2. Instead, they went 3-1 to Craig and Arfan.
Yeah, it was a big miss because they looked really good before that, and obviously the ball that Elliot missed, it was more or less a guaranteed finish, to be honest. So it was a very surprising.
Yeah, and especially
miss.
The way they've looked tonight. It was surprising to see them not complete that run out and make it 2-2. But they're still very much in the night, because they know, like we do, that, okay, we know that they need a result to go their way, but if you need a result to go your way, what a partnership to be relying on in Chris Melling and Jordan Shepard.
Yeah, definitely. They're going to want to be trying hard in this match, because, like you say, that Arford and Craig are in pole position, but they've got to play, arguably 2 of the best players in the world still. So it's all for anyone to take.
They didn't want to have to be playing around with that 8 ball on the cannon, but they managed to negotiate it nicely enough, get a draw out of that match, but it wasn't to be. 8 ball, and it's in. And it's in. The ball's got out the way, and Tom Price comes up with a golden break to put his pairing 2-0 in front. That was incredible. Right from the start, it looked like the 8 ball was tracking, and look how many balls get close to knocking this 8 ball out the way. Cue ball red. Oh, that cue ball shaved a coat of paint off the red there.
It did, yeah. And to be honest, he does give them a good whack. To be honest, the balls are flying everywhere, more or less every time we break.
Oh, what a start we have to this match for Coomb and Price. They needed to win it. They're going 2-0 up in a hurry with a lovely reverse clearance and a golden break. And Elliot would make it 3-0 in the very next frame, as we join them looking to wrap the match up quickly with a tricky opportunity.
That yellow at the bottom's a real problem to solve.
Yeah, it's a tricky one really, and I think in the position of the match, they didn't really need to go for them. They're putting pressure on themselves in this frame particularly, because as they're taking all the yellows off the table, they're just making the opponent's reds really easy.
And there is Craig Waddingham watching on, looking relaxed. Got the night in his own hands. Trying to leave an angle to go into that yellow now. Oh, yes. The red just springs far enough away from the pocket. I thought he was going to drop in, which would have been great for them, but it still goes. Beautiful shot that, and well worked out as well. Not easy to leave a good angle to go into that ball.
Yeah, good finish, and from where they started, it's a great finish.
And that is job done for Elliot Coomb and Tom Price. They get 2 wins from their 3 matches, and they're going to ask a very big question of Craig Waddingham and Arfandad.
Elliot Coomb and Tom Price have done all they can with that victory, so on to our final match where the scenario is simple. If Arfandad and Craig Waddingham get a victory or a draw, they will go through. Any other result, we will see a 3-way 6-red shootout.
Craig Waddingham and Arfandad, 2 wins from 2. They have it all in their own hands. If they get anything out of this match, a win or a draw, and they are through. If Jordan Shepard and Chris Melling win this match, we are going to a 3-way 6-red shootout. The next 20 minutes are going to be a lot of fun, and it is Jordan Shepard and Chris Melling who have the first opportunity, and it's a little bit congested in the triangle area. They didn't really open up for them. Do you think the start of the match, Neil, is really important for Chris and Jordan?
Yeah, I think it's massive for them, to be honest. I think the first 2 frames is key to them getting the result they need in the match, because he's gonna give them confidence. Whereas I think if Arfan and Craig win the first 2 frames, then, you know, because they only need the draw, it's going to be big for them. So the start's key.
Good shot there from Jordan. They are on this yellow to the bottom left, the one in between the reds, which is tricky. So all the yellows now have a pocket. They're going to need a good positional shot on their last ball to get on that 8 ball. They've got quite a good window to land in, quite a big area to land in to be on the 8 ball. I'm guessing you wouldn't want the yellow in the bottom half of the table to be your last ball.
Not ideally. I think, you know, where Jordan's like putting his hand there, that's where he wants to be if it is his last ball, so he can just pot the yellow, stun across to the right hand side of the table, and then just leave the 8 ball into the same pocket. And I think that's the way they're looking to go. But there you can see how fast the table is there, because he didn't want to be there. So they're rerouting now.
Another Ultimate Pool professional in the house, David McNamara, come over to watch with some friends. Oh, that rattled. And once again, I mean, he's nearly... The thing is, Chris is, you know, not happy with the cue ball there, but he nearly missed the pot thin, which is why the cue ball's just run that little bit further. That's not a good angle. Do you think he can just top this through and avoid the red? It's very narrow.
He can top it through, yeah, but he's not got much to work with, because if he tries to come inside the red and he catches the red, he's not going to be great on the 8 ball.
And the harder he hits it, and he has to hit it relatively firm to come down the table, the more chance of hitting that red is on. Looks like they're going to try and avoid it on the left-hand side and just accept a trickier 8 ball. No, he did come narrow, and he has not missed the red. A disaster.
It is a disaster.
Shepard and Melling.
And I could see that coming. You know, if he, you know, I suppose he didn't play the gap, to be honest with you, and just play with top and left hand side to come wider, like you say, just to leave yourself a shot.
Oh, this 8 ball's tracking. Not going to drop. Not going to drop.
Big error there from Chris Melling and Jordan Shepard in the opening Scotch frame, and that would cost them as well. They'd go 1-0 down, and Arfandad would make it 2-0 with a lovely break clearance. We're going to join Chris Melling at the table, breaking off in frame 3 with it all to do.
Dangerous couple of semi-finals as well. It's taken big performances to beat Craig Waddingham so far.
Yeah, definitely. You know, and I think it was always going to happen. You know, obviously he was in the Challenger rank last year. I think he won 2 out of the 4 events he played. And 2
semi-finals in the other 2, yeah.
Yeah, so, you know, and obviously he come up to the pro ranks, and he was always going to be one of the players to look out for and go deep in events. So I think he'll carry on as well.
Well, if that red at the bottom did go, it doesn't now. So a big problem at the bottom of the table here for Chris Melling. Has he come far enough? I don't think so. He wanted to be on the red past the 8 ball, the one just above it. Pop that one to the bottom left. He may have wanted to clear the one at the top of the table, then played it, but that will be his breakout ball, or that'll be his first choice as the breakout ball.
He's tough now because he looks like he's going to have to pot the red and then leave the second but last red and kick out the awkward red board. Obviously he's got to kick his out and land on it, so he's a low percentage to clear up from here.
Yeah. Do you think he could take the one on the top of the line, screw on and off and go into it and sort of have 2 potential balls to land on? It'll be hitting it hard and hoping, I guess. Oh no, he's not doing that. This is absolutely not guaranteed to come out for him.
If he plays the red in the right angle middle and then off the side rail, bottom rail, and then cannon the yellow away, which I think he's looking to do, there's a decent chance he could land on his last red. He just needs to play at a good pace and not too hard.
Oh, brilliant shot. Brilliant shot from Chris Melling. He is on this red. It's not easy, and it's tricky to get the cue ball onto the 8 ball, but he has a shot. That was beautiful control. As you said, exactly as you were saying, Neil, he played that. That's as played, isn't it?
He had to, because the harder he played that, the white was going to swing wider, so he wouldn't have got into the red ball.
And he misses the red. He would have been on the 8 ball, but he misses the pot on the red. And that could be huge. Craig Waddingham comes to the table. Wide open chance here on yellows to go 3-0 in front and be on the edge of the second stage of the competition, on the edge of qualification.
And I can't see Craig missing these, because Craig doesn't miss these kind of finishes.
No, he's just relentless. How often do we talk about the Scotch frame, that opening frame, in these short races to 4, 20-minute matches, where quite often we don't see it get to 4 frames. If you can get that first Scotch frame on the board, and Chris Melling and Jordan Shepard had their opportunity and just got it wrong positionally.
Yeah, it's big because, it seems to set the tone for the whole match, that first frame. So it's it's very important. And what you see sometimes is that the pair that lose that first frame, they tend to go 2-0 down, and they're not at the shot in the second frame. So it's even worse.
Yeah, it's the pair that wins it sort of settles down and get a lovely finish in the next. All of a sudden it's 2-0, and that chance was never easy from Chris, because he had one bad ball all the way through it, and he wasn't able to deal with it until the end, and it forced the miss. It's a story we see so often. Craig would have liked to have been straight in on this yellow to make life easier. He does have to play a shot here. But plays it comfortably enough. And it is 3-0 to Dad and Waddingham.
Chris Melling and Jordan Shepard did win the next to give them some faint hope, but with only 1 minute 32 seconds left on the clock, it's a long shot.
Well, it's moving, but it's not going close to a pocket, and they're dry. That will be that. They'll definitely look back at a couple of shots tonight and rue the mistakes, especially in their first match of the night. That in-off from Chris Melling when they had an opportunity to go 3-1 up. A huge error that's really cost them tonight. They may not have won that match anyway, but it certainly hurt them.
Yeah, it's been a like you say, a couple of key shots here and there. Like Tom's pairing it, and Elliot. They missed a couple of key chances against Arfandad and Craig as well. Another night they could be sitting on 3 wins. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, it's been a cracking night's entertainment, though. When we look at the scores at the end of the night, it's going to look like plain sailing for Arfandad and Craig Waddingham, and it has been to a point, but there's been some drama along the way. Craig Waddingham now 3 balls away from wrapping it up, but he probably won't even get that far. 10 seconds left. And that is it. Craig lets the clock run down, and that completes the victory for them. 3 frames to 1.
And that wraps things up for Arfandad and Craig Waddingham. Very plain sailing through this group. 3 wins from 3 for a comfortable progress through to the second stage of the Ultimate Pool Pairs Cup. If you'd like to watch this night back, you can. It's on ultimatepool.tv, where you can watch every single ball and every single second. Or if you're looking forward to next week, then you don't have to wait very long. It's on Monday night at 6:30 on ultimatepool.tv and Free Sports and many other TV stations around the world. Oli Bale is the only Ultimate Pool professional in this group, playing with his nephew Sonny Bale. Then we have father and son Viv and Vivek Mack. And then we've got Kyle Edwards and Phil Hoskins. Andrew Herriot and Shane Rowley round out the group. Thank you for your company. I'll be back next week for a roundup show of week 6 of the Pairs Cup. So I look forward to seeing you then.
This programme is brought to you by ultimatepool.tv.